What's the worst sex you've ever had? Hi Reddit guys. Subscribe now or I will seek you. He came instantly, left the room and didn't talk to me, out of embarrassment. For 2 weeks after. Opposite version. First time I had sex with my current boyfriend. He was coming before he could even position himself properly. Maybe 5 seconds. Silence. Awkward. Then he looks me in the eyes and sarcastically says, "Was it good for you too?" Joking about it took all the awkwardness of it away. Kind of adorable. Laughing it off is the best way to go about it. Beating yourself up over it will make the problem worse if anything. This might be me. Nah, I doubt it. The guy they're talking about actually got laid. B. This dude just had no rhythm. At all. It was a really weird set of thrusts. So I thought, frick it, I'll take control and started riding him. To which he continued the weird, uncoordinated and non-rhythmic thrusts. Oh man. Been there. Dude, just pick a song and tap that out. Maybe he was a Rush fan? YYZ was probably playing in his head. I dated this guy for a few weeks. Then came X time. We were naked and making out. Then I moved to go down on him. His crotch smelled very strong of cologne. And never dealing with it before, I started sucking him. It was cologne. And a lot of it. My mouth was full of it, my eyes and nose started to burn. And I started throwing up. I couldn't get that taste out of my mouth and off my face for days. It was Draconnoir. Guys, don't ever freaking do that. The old Pinot Noir. Caviar. Myanmar. Mid-sized car. Pinot Noir. Roseanne bar. He rubbed his dong between my butt cheeks until he came, not realizing he wasn't actually in me. Did you say anything while he was going? Or were you just too amused? I really just couldn't bring myself to crush his spirit. Seemed like he was having a good time. You the real MVP. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Honestly, bare skin feels amazing against a peanuts. I get waves of pleasure whenever I brush against my girlfriend. I'd love to try something similar to your story if there was any possible way to ask about it without being hella creepy. I'm guessing this is the reason why boob jobs are so sought after. But my girlfriend has small boobs and is the love of my life, so I doubt I'll ever experience this sad face. With my ex-boyfriend. I'm a pretty small person. 5'0" and 95 lbs. And he is big, plus had gained weight. 6'3" and 250 lbs. He was on top of me and refusing to use his arms to support his upper body, causing him to rest his entire chest weight on me. I kept telling him to prop himself up, but he kept saying his arms were tired. I was basically suffocating. I started wheezing very loudly and needed my emergency inhaler. To make things worse, he got mad at me for ruining the moment. What the frick? So how was he moving his body? My girlfriend was going down on me after drinking orange juice. She took it a little too deep and puked, forcing a unique bile OJ mixture into my urethra. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. Did she drink it back out using your peanuts as a straw? These are exactly the sort of hard questions we need to be asking. OP, please respond. We need to know. Yes. She asked if I wanted a blowjob. It immediately began with this weird sensation, so I looked down and realized that A, she had never done anything like this before in her life, and B, she took the term blowjob as literal and was trying to inflate my dong like it was a balloon. Did you raise your arms up over your head and scream "Stap, I'm gonna pop"? Fun fact. Blowjob came from Old English compounding of below job. Stap, I'm gonna pop. You and OP have me in tears. Hilarious comments. I had a girl start giving me a blowjob and we were both pretty messed up. She gagged and threw up a little on my cock and I closed my eyes pretending not to notice while she slurped it all back into her mouth and swallowed it. Was not the best experience. 8 out of 10 would recommend for the story. What a champ. Farted in a 69 with an obese girl. Left and fell down the stairs and ended up in hospital. You've woven a complicated web, friend. That story was a wild ride from beginning to end. I had a girl tell me I am the Michael Phelps of blowjobs. She was not. It was probably the drugs. Very possible. I wouldn't want to be blown by Michael Phelps either. A good rule in life is to avoid anyone who claims to be actually great at something. It's an impossible claim. A person must learn how to turn you on. People don't all have the same tastes. Oral on a woman. Unexpected diarrhea. Explosive orgasm. You do the math. Please. For the love of all that's holy, don't show your work. I'm not great at math. But, did she it on your face, dude? Other people may say that something tastes like it and not have a clue. I on the other hand can now give you a well-informed opinion. Thank you for the gold. I'm so sorry. Unexpected diarrhea. Frick. Are you okay? My wedding night. Planning a wedding is a lot of work. And it is a really, really long day. Granted, it was fantastic and one of the best days of my life. But when midnight rolls around you are freaking exhausted. But since you just got married that day, you feel like you need to do the deed. We finished in about a minute and it still seemed like so much effort, but we just wanted to go to bed. The honeymoon, however, we didn't get round to it on our wedding night. But to be honest, we completely knew that was going to happen. We almost never get down to it if we're still wasted when we go to bed. Our plan was to wake up and do it in the huge bath before we got kicked out the room in the morning, but we were basically too hungover. But yeah, honeymoon was good. We have a PR good ex-life generally, so no complaints. But immediately after getting married, for some reason we were all over each other for the next few months. Like we've just started going out. Do you think we can get away with a BJ at the back of this train stuff where you just feel like you have to have X as often as possible? That after honeymoon phase you described sounds great. Good for you guys. I actually had the opposite. Wild kinky crazy wedding night X. Like we couldn't wait to get back up to the room after the reception and almost snuck up early. Then the honeymoon was some crazy adventure cruise thing and we were so exhausted I think we got it on once in the 2 weeks. I had this friend in college. Sweet girl, A+ personality, we were very close. She had a boyfriend back home who was abusive both physically and verbally, and cheated on her constantly. Finally she took our advice and left him for good. The goodbye consisted of the usual angry insecure no guy, but me will ever want you, you're ugly, you're terrible in bed, blah blah blah. As he was her first and only lover she had taken this to be truth. She tried to pick up other guys, but was often turned down as she is not exactly a good looking girl. Our group of friends could all see with more and more rejection she grew more and more concerned this D-bag was right. One day she asked me if I would have X with her, no strings attached, just to prove another man could want her that way. I feared saying no would destroy her and confirm the doubts installed by this jerk, so I took one for the team. I get good and drunk as not only is she not pretty, but my type is curvy dark featured women. She is a petite blonde with no boobs or booty to speak of. Picture Smeagol from Lord of the Rings naked and ready. On top of that her downstairs stunk. It was so bad, after I brought her to climax I faked my own. It didn't end there. She noticed the condom was empty. I apologized, assuring her it was a case of whiskey dong and not her, or this all would be for naught. So, she felt we should both deserved a grand finale, and that we could take a break, smoke a cig and try again. Well, I've come this far, no turning back now, right? I insisted this time I take her from behind as it's my favorite. In truth it is. But the real reason being I needed her not to notice me squeezing my eyes shut and picturing every Pinot and Great lay I ever had. The following day she tells our group of friends what we did and gave me a sterling review, which resulted in a few of the attractive women in our clique to throw themselves at me. Her confidence was renewed, and she must have upped her game and done something about the smell, as she's been a heartbreaker ever since. In conclusion, worst ex I ever had, and karma does exist. I'm glad there was a happy ending to this. You are a good person who deserves good things. It was great until she had a flashback to a time she was raped. She started crying, so we stopped and I hugged her and told her I was her friend. She then screamed, "Don't touch me," and I stopped. She then said, "You're going to hit me, aren't you?" and told her I would never hurt her. She kept saying she didn't trust me, but she eventually calmed down. We took a shower together and I had a talk with her and said that we didn't have to have sex again if she didn't want to, but I would like to be her friend. I also told her she should see a therapist. After that, we talked on the phone a couple of times, but she all of a sudden unfriended me on Facebook and I never heard from her again. The moral of the story is never have sex with someone the same day you met them. You did everything right though. Comforted her, calmed her down, reassured her. She probably didn't want to see you again, because it must have been a painful experience, not your fault. That is tragic. Imagine reliving a traumatic experience over and over. I really hope she has found peace and comfort. Was banging a girl in the backseat. It's good times, cars rocking, windows steamed. She's coming and then I start coming, so I grab her by the hips and clamp down and drive in. Guess my thumbs were on her bladder cause she straight up pisses on me. And lo, at that moment a cop knocks on the window. She freaks and tries to jump off and I take a knee in my freshly drained balls. So now I got a cop laughing at me, piss in my backseat, and shattered balls. Cop was all just go, you've been punished enough. This is kind of an endearing story from an outsider's perspective. The cop must have had a good laugh retelling it later. Holy it, another GGG cop. Similar story. I was parked along a cul-de-sac frequented by many high schoolers to park and smoke weed and hook up. Was with my HS girlfriend. We smoked a ton and ended up getting heated. I was getting a BJ in the front seat when I opened my eyes to make eye contact with a FKN officer who shines his flashlight in. He sees what's up, shuts off the light, and say, "Carry on, folks." I was scared shitless that I would be busted for weed. Nah, instead he just drives off. Instead of getting busted for bud, I got the most intense nut busting sessions right after that due to the fear factor. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now or I will seek you.